and desktop second. So we've had to look at the way our product has been built and decide if we need to make changes. Are we building a specific mobile-based app versus a desktop-based app? How are we going to address those needs now from a consumer perspective? How does that then trickle backwards into the development platforms and the internal IT resources? The good news is that while it's becoming slightly more difficult to manage, it's actually becoming much cheaper to manage. This is 7 years ago, and when we started Verit, it was okay. We need to do let's pick email, right? It was we had to go build our own hosted server to go out and host an exchange and do all those things. Well, now when we went in to get Unravel started, there were a half dozen places we could go to get essentially hosted email for a couple bucks a month. So at least while things are changing, they are getting significantly cheaper.
Scott?
Okay, thank you.
How do you see change in day-to-day work?
Well, yes, as we talked beforehand, show of hands, how many of you here have BlackBerries in your pockets? Have many of you seen the latest news from Google as of yesterday? You want to talk about a change in technology? They announced yesterday that they have discontinued support for email on the BlackBerry platform. So the three-way fight for smartphone domination I think it's pretty much done. So anyway, that's one example. At Loam, we were talking about this earlier. We're in a brand. This is one of these times, at least in my life, where you have a global greenfield market. It's the best analogy I can share with you about what we're doing is very much like the early days of the cell phone. Those of us who remember having the Motorola brick phones and there weren't enough towers in, lousy consumer experience. You had to wait for the infrastructure. So we're now putting in, as I said, anywhere from 50 to 80 stations a week, and everything that we do, other than email and materials management, and we use Salesforce, so CRM, that's